because we are live and it's Saturday morning. The best way for you guys to start your weekend is with me and the local buffoons. With me today, obviously, from This Just Thing, it's Phil Balabanos calling in live from Studio Zeno Space. Phil, how you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling a little congested, but I'm okay.
Yeah, you're good? You look good. You didn't even answer if you're going to be here today. You just showed up for the record. You never replied.
That's not true. I answered last night. I thumbs up in the chat.
That's psychotic. So we also have, obviously, the guy who answers before everyone else, Poseidon.
The guy.
Why did you take so long to lean in? And you answered 15 seconds after I texted you, "Hey, are we doing this on Saturday?" And you leaned. You sent me a thumbs up within 15 seconds, as if the show depended solely on you. I was mostly interested in Phil.
That was me who answered.
No, it was him. I have the proof.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, you guys were acting like Poseidon was acting like a little shit, like you didn't want to do it today. But we have to get to the news, so we're gonna go to the man behind the Backstage podcast, George Tadrizos, who's got the news for us. George, what do you have for us this weekend?
What's going on, guys?
I'm good, George.
I just found out.
George.
I just found out that there's a chat.
You had no idea that there's a chat for this.
It's actually This Just Thing chat.
You know what he thought? George, like, I think I'm just doing this for them. I think they just want to know stuff, and they put me on camera.
Like, I'd hang out with them if they just wanted to talk.
They just told me Saturday 10 a.m. Be in front of your computer. I don't know anything about chats.
We're here, G.
How you guys doing?
We're good. We're enjoying the morning.
Good. So we got a few things I wanted to talk about. One, possibility of fall elections in Canada. Obviously, nothing's confirmed. Obviously, don't take my word for it. But just wanted to bring it up here because
Federal elections.
Federal, of course, always, yes. So, last week I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine, and he's, a bit conservative-minded. And, especially when it comes to federal politics, where I'm, a little bit more objective. We often have these heated, but interesting conversations. So he was asking me, how I thought Justin was doing and how he was handling the crisis, and that, that kind of led into talking about the hundreds of billions of dollars that, we're adding to our deficit. And the conversation ultimately led us to talking about how usually during a period of crisis, it's, it's very common to see a rise in support of a political leader. And, we saw this in the U.S. with George Bush and 9/11. We saw it in Quebec City with Pauline Marois and the Lac Mégantic train explosion. We saw it with Philippe Couillard and the mosque shooting. And we're seeing it now during this pandemic. And I told him that if I, hypothetically, were working as a senior advisor at the Prime Minister's office, and I know this may seem Machiavellic, but at this very moment, I would definitely be considering an election campaign between September and November. Trudeau's ratings are back on the rise. People's trust and approval towards him are rising. And I was telling my friend that strategically, if he takes advantage of this current situation and he plays his cards right, he can very easily win and possibly win a majority. And he went crazy. He's like, what are you talking about? Don't say things. People wouldn't, forgive him for his horrible fiscal record.
So you're saying is that this, in layman's terms, right? Because we do have a lot of mental cases that do watch the show. What you're saying, to put it simply, is that given the crisis and how Trudeau now has a minority government, the best case scenario for him would be to call an election as soon as possible, so he can get all these people that are happy about getting a check every month to vote for him, and that way he can get a majority government. Is that what you're trying to say here, George?
I'm saying exactly that, and that's why I said it may seem Machiavellic, but this is politics, right? It's strategy, and you're thinking. So
Trump just released his fucking campaign video. It is the most epic shit on the internet.
I haven't seen it.
What does Trump have to do with Trudeau?
You have to see it.
Look, guys,
what does Trump have to do with Trudeau, Phil? Let's stick to the facts here.
Elections. That's all I'm saying. That's my byline here. That I'm saying that he just released the campaign video.
Trump had to release one video. A full minute of Joe Biden talking. That's it. Trump wins the election. That's all Trump needs.
I'm just saying, like,
it sounds like 50 first dates.
It's fun. It's just funny how the universe works. Because early this week, a bunch of polls were conducted. I think Angus Reid and Leger, and they were putting the Federals in a considerable advance should an election be held before the end of the year. So I think the Angus poll on Tuesday, they had the Liberals up at 39% with a possibility of 184 seats in the House. And the very next day, the Léger comes out and they had the Liberals up at 44%. So here's what I think.
Yeah.
Of course, we need to see how the situation with the pandemic evolves first, right? It would be completely ridiculous to be jumping into a campaign if another wave of this pandemic were to reoccur in the fall. So that's number one.
Can I ask you a question before you go on?
Yeah.
If he were to make these surprise elections, right? Because he won, and then would end up losing, would that be one of the funniest things to ever happen in Canadian politics?
Well, I don't know if it would be the funniest things.
I think it would be hilarious. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure if we look back, I'm sure it's happened where you take a gamble, and especially if it's a minority government, right? Because if it's a majority government, you know that every 4 years it's standard, right? In October, every 4 years, there's an election time, so everyone knows that it's coming. Everyone gets prepared. It's kind of like an even playing field, right? Yeah. But when it's a minority government, it really depends on the prime minister and when he or she chooses to launch a campaign. So I think first we have to wait for that to see how things evolve, because it would be, I think, the worst decision to launch a campaign if there was another epidemic to reoccur in September. But if things remain under control, and it seems to be the case, of course, with the exception of Quebec, which we're going to talk about a bit later.
What the fuck is under control? Nothing is under control.
We're kind of special.
The rest of Canada, things have been pretty stable. I'm thinking that if things in Quebec were as they are in the rest of Canada, it's only a matter of time before everything just gets back to normal, right? And it already is. So the option of a fall election would, in fact, I think, be a great idea for Trudeau. He would still be riding the wave in popularity. This whole pandemic will still be fresh in people's minds, and more importantly, it would be the best opportunity for him to justify his excessive spending and get another pass from the population. He can make, but it's true. I mean, his main problem is that. How do you explain people that we are so deep in shit in deficits? He did an election in 2015 saying that we're going to run mild deficits and balance everything in 2019. He was way far that from his numbers, and now we're like into close to 250 billion. So it's crazy. So this would be a good opportunity for him to kind of justify all that. In fact, I think he can even make this pandemic and the management of its consequences his central campaigning theme. And he could very well bring the Liberals back to a majority government. Also, we have to consider the fact that his main opposition, the Conservative Party,
is the Chinese People's... sorry. Go on.
The Conservative Party would be completely caught off guard. I mean, they are in the middle of a leadership race that is due in August. It is failing miserably in inspiring its members and in garnering any real interest. Their new leader, whoever it would be, wouldn't have enough time not only to raise the party support, but even to raise any considerable funds to prepare adequately if the elections were to happen or called in September. So I'm very curious to see going forward how this will evolve. Honestly, it's interesting. It's just funny how I was having this conversation, then suddenly all these polls started coming out early this week, Well,
it was bound to happen, right?
Well, normally minority government, you're looking at between 18 months to 2 years. So you're usually around there, This would be what they got elected in October of 2019. It would be 1 year. It's a little soon.
This is unprecedented. Like, we're living through crazy times, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's very soon. I can't remember any time that they did it within a year. But I mean, given the circumstances, why not take advantage of it? And I'm just telling you guys, just from a strategic point of view, I mean, I would totally be thinking election.
Now, from a citizen's perspective, would it be strategic to hop on the Liberal bandwagon and vote for him again to get let's say a majority government when we're running such a huge deficit? And instead of him trying to figure shit out and balance it out, he's just spending. I think we just agreed to give the WHO $1 billion, right, last week? Me and you were talking about this. You sent me a text.
It was. He gave 450 or 460 million euros, something like that.
So what is that in Canadian dollars? 750.
It's close to about.
It's a lot of fucking money.
It's close to
about 800, maybe a little over 800.
800 million Canadian dollar dues. So, do you think that this would be the time for us to vote? Because that to me sounds psychotic. When we don't have money and we're not taking care of our own country.
I do think so, and that's why I think that if he uses this pandemic as the main theme of his election, he could say anything he wants. He can ask the population the confidence to run a full mandate and make sure that this pandemic is dealt with responsibly, and that we have.
Yeah, he's not the guy to do it.
Well, I mean, it's your opinion, but I mean, it's 30 million people that vote, across Canada, or 30 million, Canadians that are going to be following that campaign that will decide ultimately. It could happen. Usually when the economy is doing bad, it's always a good opportunity for the leadership to come out and say, listen, we need a full mandate to be able to fix this situation. It's not something that we haven't seen before. So I'm curious to see. I honestly don't want a pandemic to reoccur in September. I don't think anybody wants to be in that situation. Personally, I don't want another election. But if the pandemic were to just go away and things were to be back in normal, it wouldn't surprise me entirely to see a campaign in the fall. I'm just saying that. I don't know. And apparently, from the polls and everybody started talking about it this week, I'm probably not the only one thinking like this. So,
well, I mean, you're the only one amongst us that has the actual experience in this. So, and it shows that you were correct, because you did call it. You told me this way before they started talking about it. So you do have your finger on the pulse, it would seem. You know how they think.
What is the other option besides supporting the Liberals? I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying,
that's the other thing. I don't see another option. There's no one I like.
The Conservatives are in disarray. The NDP is going to triple the deficit. If they can even manage the deficit.
The NDP is going to be like, your money? You mean our money?
But there's one thing they could do, though. They could fight fire with fire, and they could reach out to Mulroney. I know he's on ET now. He's like, Ben Mulroney.
Yeah.
He's the only person who can defeat Justin Trudeau.
Who that?
Because he's a socialite.
It's gonna be the guy from Access Hollywood, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Mulroney versus Trudeau.
Are we crazy?
Let's do it again.
That would be epic.
That would be epic. I would watch that, and I would be terrified of the outcome, but enjoy it every step of the way.
He's a bit of a retard, no? Doesn't he have a?
No, he's fine.
He's not.
Who?
He's not a politician.
No, he's not. But his sister is. His sister Caroline Mulroney is elected in Ontario.
Wait, a woman? Hold on a second.
And she's the minister.
What's becoming of this country?
No, but she was actually in the leadership race for the Ontario Conservative Party. She lost. They won the election, and they named her to cabinet. And everyone, as soon as she threw her name in the for the Ontario leadership race, they were suspecting that this is just a step to make a jump federally.
Oh. That's so crazy, right?
Yeah.
I just forgot about her.
Yeah, Caroline Mulroney. Anyway, let's move to Quebec now.
All right, let's move to Quebec.
Because things are really heating up over here. And, the Quebec government, I think, is losing very quickly the credibility it had in the beginning of this pandemic. And, of course, Montreal, has become the Canadian epicenter for this pandemic, unfortunately.
We're number one.
So, I mean, it's been already 1 or 2 weeks that many have been seeing a shift happening, in Quebec, specifically in the management of this crisis. If we compare since the beginning, how Legault has been managing the crisis, it's night and day. His critics are back at arms. He has definitely gotten, this whole thing has definitely gotten political again. Whereas in the beginning, it was sort of, we had seen a sort of unity between all the parties. Everyone was kind of, on the same boat. United to fight this cause. Now, I mean, everyone is in their own camps and they're sharpening their knives, it seems, So I think it's
I like that analogy.
No, but it seems that everything started early last week when he announced that Quebec would be reopening. I think that was the beginning. And to be honest, I think everyone wants things to get back to normal and the soonest possible. But we also have to be conscious of the still very present risks that exist, right? And I think we spoke about that in an earlier episode. I mean, just look at Europe, for example. Most countries started their partial deconfinement this week, and some countries were hit much, much harder and much earlier than Canada. So there's something that clearly doesn't make any sense. And especially in Quebec, where contrary to most other provinces in Canada, the numbers are still very much on the rise. So, since 2 weeks ago, I don't believe there's a situation where a premier had announced something on Monday and not have backtracked by Friday. And I think we spoke about that. It's very difficult to predict the level at which people will respect the directives and remain disciplined. I think that's my personal stress, and I think everyone else's. So another example, they announced daycares and schools would open. At first they announced that daycare educators would wear masks, but not elementary school teachers. Then they came back to announce that they would make masks available to school teachers if they wanted them. And now this week they announced that everything will be put on hold still until the end of May. So everything is just, there seems to be a lack of planning. This week everyone decided to criticize the way that previous governments had handled or ignored rather the long-term care facilities, and that they should have been better managed, and perhaps rightfully so.
That's a good point. That's a good
point. No one disagrees with that.
Pauline Marois came out, Jean Charest came out the other day on the radio as well. They're pretty much all agreeing. But we're seeing numbers still climbing in these facilities, and suddenly the government announces that they will lift the strict measures and allow for family members to visit patients that are at the end of their life, and they would also allow for caregivers to have access to the patients, but that they wouldn't test them before allowing them access. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, they believe that the virus spread in the first place within these facilities. It was transported from one place to the other by caregivers or nurses or, these professionals. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days, we wouldn't come back on that decision as well. Another example, the premier last week, he said that they were prepared for this week to start making 14,000 tests per day. They failed. This week, I mean, they're so off that number. I mean, how can you even announce that you're going to be testing 14,000, that you're going to make 14,000 tests a day if you don't already know that you have the capacity to do that? So it boggles my mind a little bit, And this week they announced that they would increase the testing in various hotspots in Montreal, which obviously has become
Poseidon's room,
the epicenter in Canada. And it's counting for over 80% of the cases in Quebec. So what I'm wondering is, why wait 7 weeks to do this? I mean, I remember as early as the end of March when they were already referring to areas like Parc-Ex, Saint-Michel, Côte-des-Neiges, Montreal North as hotspots. So why not start testing in April? So all these things are starting to add up. Journalists have become a little bit more aggressive as well, whereas in the beginning they were more kind of reluctant to pressure. So we're seeing all this movement happening. We've reached the point where we're almost at 100 deaths and 1,000 cases daily. Yesterday, on top of all that, by surprise, they caught everyone by surprise. The National Public Health Institute, they made public their projections, and it's clearly and certainly worrying for Montreal. This is the incredible part about this, without even considering the deconfinement and the long-term care facility. So putting that aside, we could see deaths surpass 150 every day, and the cases reach over 10,000 daily by June. So people are much more concerned than ever, and they're wondering if there really is a proactive plan to get us out of this situation.
Well, clearly you're saying they're wondering, but clearly what you've said is that there is no real plan. How could there be a real plan, right? We're taking this day by day. But why are people pushing to the extremes? Why are the only two options either we fully open up or we don't open up at all? Why can't we have adults that need to do important adult shit take the proper precautions and do it so the economy starts running? We don't need to force kids to go back into school yet.
I don't think there was the extremes like tomorrow we're opening. From the beginning.
No, it's just when we open, we have to slowly open everything. No, we don't have to open everything.
But even the progressive deconfinement seems to be making no sense. And look, guys, we have a business. I want things to go back to normal.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because my business, our business didn't suffer that much. But I think about you, Pantelis. I think about you, Phil. I mean, you took a hit. You understand? So everybody wants this to go back to normal, but what are we risking though? And the numbers are still at the high, are climbing. You're looking at other provinces; they have stabilized their situation a long time ago. So it makes sense. I mean, for Saskatchewan, for example, or even
not
BC.
Even a real place.
Yeah, but here's my question: is it like I was trying to look into the data about how testing is being performed in other provinces?
Yeah.
Are they really stabilizing, or have they just slowed down testing, like randomized testing? Because number of cases for me isn't scary. There's going to be tons of cases, and whatever that number is, the real number is probably a multiple of that, right? Like, we'll never know. If you have no symptoms, you're not going to get tested.
Exactly. What we're failing to understand is that a lot of people have already gotten it and don't even know about it. right?
Yeah.
There's that, yeah.
Well, it was
there's no way to
Berkeley that did the
confirm that
test
either.
with the antibodies that they found. There was so many people that had it, and they never knew, so
Yeah,
they could have got it months ago. But what's the but, Phil?
I was gonna say the antibody testing. I've been reading a whole bunch about it. These immunity passports and all that talk. Like
I wasn't talking about immunity pass. I was just saying that
no,
there's a
I
lot
know,
of people
but
that have the
science is
antibodies.
the same, right? Like it starts with the antibody testing, and these kits that they're selling for antibody testing, like you'll do the same test 10 times from different providers, and you'll get 10 different results, or you'll get like 50-50 spread, let's say. Like I've read a bunch of stuff like that because people are rushing to make these. Like antibody testing is something that's very, very new as a over-the-counter kind of approach. So like,
Well,
can
I
we
was
even
I was
trust
talking
those
about the
numbers?
University of Berkeley, California. They
Oh, like a
did
specific study, okay.
Yeah, they did the study. They're the ones who, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, that hot mic that caught those people at the White House talking about, oh, did you see the study? It's actually under 2%, so people don't panic as much. And then they're like, you're being recorded.
Sorry.
So yeah, no, it was just, that's also what Joe Rogan's doing too. The main test that he's doing, I think, when people go into the studio is the antibody test. And a lot of people are discovering that they had it. Now here's the thing, with the testing is because they keep retesting people. So let's say you don't have it today, right? Doesn't mean that you never had it. Doesn't mean that if they test you in a week, you're still going to be clean because you may then contract it within the week, right?
Yeah, of course.
So unless we're planning on testing every fucking person every day, it's
not manageable.
Yeah, it's not manageable. It's fucking crazy. So I say that we have to take a look at who's really suffering from it, right? Who has the most, I guess, aggressive symptoms. And we know who it is.
Yeah.
We know which demographic is having those. So we should focus on protecting the people at risk more so than locking everyone up, right? Like, for example, you're not allergic to peanuts. Neither am I. So I don't react the same way when eating peanuts as a kid or a person who's allergic to peanuts. It would be insane to treat me the same way you would someone that could die from eating a peanut.
Yeah, but the thing is, with peanut allergies, we know how they function. With this, we don't. Now there's fucking Kawasaki's disease that's sprung up in like young population.
Disease?
Yeah, like kids who apparently have contracted COVID are now breaking out in this weird and like very rare viral reaction where their body erupts in hives and there's high fever.
What?
Like now there's the thing about people in their 30s and 40s who are otherwise healthy fucking having strokes while they have it. Like we don't know. That's what
George,
I'm trying to say.
what is this about?
Don't fucking know.
Sorry?
George, what is that about? I never heard about this.
No, I didn't hear about this either.
Which part?
The Kawasaki disease.
Kawasaki disease is something that I was talking because I'm trying to line up one of the guests for Fill My Hole, and he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Blatant plug. Kawasaki disease is it's a skin reaction from a virus. It's post-viral, so a lot of kids under the age of 5, and I won't give you numbers because I don't have that data.
What does that have? Is that directly linked to coronavirus?
So it seems like kids who have had coronavirus and had a very mild reaction are now having this very severe reaction a couple of days after they get over the virus. There's a link there. They're studying it. They don't know what it is exactly.
Oh, I've never heard
of it. It's weird. Like that's all I'm saying is there's so much information and a lot of it is conflicting and we don't know. So like at the same time, I go back to what I originally posited, which is, are we really doing so poorly or are we just much more data centric in Quebec? Which seems like a Quebec thing to do. The French people, they love the data. They do. And they test for fucking everything.
I don't know, but what's the real question here? You're saying, is it one or the other? Because we could still be very cautious and look into the data.
Yes, agreed. But I'm saying what I'm really trying to say is it really safe for the rest of Canada to be, our numbers are good, Montreal's the hotspot, let's reopen? Or are they really setting up for a massive second wave?
Right. Well, we are testing a lot here. That is a very good point, Phil.
Yeah,
we are testing
I got tested, and it was fucking the socialism at its best. I was in and out in 5 minutes because I was really sick at the beginning of this.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense to test as much as possible, and obviously, the more you test, the more people, the more cases that you're going to have, right? And the more cases you have, then you potentially are going to be expecting more cases to be hospitalized, and more people dying, unfortunately. But it seems as though in the rest of Canada, it's not as accentuated. The cases, because even if in the rest of Canada they're not testing as much as Quebec, I mean, if people end up in the hospital, it's still considered a case. You understand? So,
but are those case numbers higher here too? I don't remember. Like hospitalizations?
Of course, yes. Yeah. So it's definitely worrying here in Quebec, and we'll see how things go forward. It's just that, I just feel that, and I understand the logic behind it. You want to avoid being hit economically with a recession in August, September, because that's what all the experts are saying. We're lining up for a huge recession coming in August, September. You want to make sure that before that you can kind of get your economy back in order so that you can kind of, take the hit better, But why put people at risk? And what frustrates me this week, or yesterday, or 2 days ago, they started focusing a lot on Montreal. Why wait 7 weeks? You've known from day one that Montreal Center, especially around the Jewish General Hospital, those areas have been affected much more than anywhere else in Quebec. Why not put public test sites in those areas from the very beginning? They opened up a testing site downtown at the Place des Spectacles. I get that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's where I had gone.
Yeah, but look, these are areas that are obviously among the poorest, not only in Montreal and Quebec, but across Canada.
It's not even about. Don't forget, those numbers are skewed by the fact that these inner city dense areas have a lot of, especially around the Jewish. I grew up around that area. So did you, Pants.
Yeah.
It's filled with convalescence homes and palliative care and old folks' homes. So that plays into those numbers too. That's where those are.
Yeah.
Same thing with Laval. There's a lot of homes up in Laval. A lot of old people dying, unfortunately.
A lot of homos. So let me tell you, Phil. Right now, we're not gonna be able to solve this because it looks like even George himself is starting to lose faith in the system, which is good.
I don't lose faith. I'm just
join us, George. Join the rebellion. Join us.
Yes,
George.
join the rebellion.
Shut up, Poseidon. You
did you have a
disappeared.
good shit, Poseidon? You have a good shit?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Where did you
Came
go?
back sweaty, buddy.
You're the most unprofessional anchor. Even CNN doesn't do that shit. They don't get up, walk off while they're on air, take shit
In their boxers.
Back. Yeah. No, you're
No,
making
it's not my
Don
box. I'm
Lemon
wearing
look
shorts.
presentable.
Oh, are you wearing shorts? Can we see them?
Yeah.
We saw them already.
Okay.
He's been
I want to see them better. Wow. Look at that. That's nice. That's nice. Anyways, George, how does Poseidon's shorts affect?
So George, we've covered this, and I think I'm personally, I don't know about the people watching, but personally, I'm fed up of COVID-19 updates for the moment, at least. And George, you did come to me at the last minute, at the 0 hour, with a new story, coming straight out of the Armenian capital.
I feel like it's always better to end things on a happy note. And I know many of you here, you're sports enthusiasts and you're fans of UFC, and I also, like many, enjoy watching these super athletes go at each other. Who doesn't like seeing the hockey benches emptying on the ice, or the baseball dugouts running on the field and clashing, like a scene in Braveheart.
And while on the subject, did you guys see that the UFC 249 pressers, where they're wearing the masks and they have the gloves and they're touching each other? Have you seen that? It's fucking ridiculous, boys. The future's crazy.
So, everyone gets excited about these. Strangely enough, though, what I love most is watching, mature men, serious men, stemming from various professional backgrounds, respectable in most cases, that have...
Where's this going?
That have reached their dreams, ambition of getting elected, to just running through the aisles of Parliament to slap each other around.
What?
So our Armenian brothers didn't fail to satisfy. This brawl broke out in the Armenian Parliament yesterday over a debate on whether or not the country has done enough to take care of its citizens during this pandemic.
We're gonna watch it.
Yeah, let's play it for everyone.
Oh, God.
Oh, crap.
You want mask? You want mask like some kind of a faggot? Come here. Let me show you mask. Mask. Come here. I show you mask. None of this pussy shit in Armenia. You hear? Mask. Like we're a bunch of ladies. Guys, what about social distancing? This isn't working, guys. This is politics the way it should be.
They're not maintaining social distancing.
Yes. Stand back.
You know, what I love about these clips, and it happens all the yeah, that's it. You have people beating each other up, and then you just have the speaker of the house just saying, please, order,
You
please.
calmate, Holmes.
Just sitting there hammering away. Please, order. People are breaking each other's faces.
Keep 2 meters apart.
Please. So yeah, that was a funny one. I thought it'd be interesting to share it, and
Thank you, George.
So what happens now, George? So after is there going to be a rematch? Are any of these gentlemen currently holding the Armenian heavyweight title?
No, but it just goes to show you how people are concerned, like across the planet. We are living a situation where we have, we're nearing 100 deaths per day. If by the stats that the National Public Health Institute published, we may risk seeing, tens of thousands of cases every single day. I mean, we're in a whole other world. Just to give you an idea, like a perspective, Armenia right now has 3,000 cases and they have 43 deaths. And they're panicking like this, like beating each other up in parliament, And of course, one death is one too many. We all understand that.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, I mean, these guys are stressing. And the situation is 3,000 cases, 43 deaths.
What's
We
their
had
population?
that. Sorry?
What's their population?
I'm not sure what the population is.
How many of them are left after Turkey was done?
Yeah, it used to be a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many they have. I think it's
Poseidon, that was such a slow reaction. God damn.
He's having a hard time today, huh?
Yeah, he's having a real hard time. Yeah.
You all right, buddy?
I'm fine.
It's this
Good,
morning.
good.
This morning thing is fucking with him.
He's gonna come around.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. This morning I was cursing. I was like, why couldn't it be a mid-morning show? I had a hard time.
It's a morning show. People wake up in the morning. Look,
Yeah.
I'm awake in the morning. It's
Yeah,
better.
yeah, I know.
You know what? You feel like shit now, Poseidon, but as long as you don't roll over and go back to sleep, you're going to be able to get a lot of shit done. Do you want to come with me after this? I'm going to go to the studio. I'm going to fix some stuff up around our studio.
I'm down.
Hey, you can enjoy our brand new hand sanitizers, courtesy of Alpass Inc.
Nice.
George. Thanks, George.
But George, let me ask you, what do you think about Sweden?
Yeah, George, what do you think of those fucking Swedes? Is what he meant to say.
Yeah, we spoke about Sweden.
Last week.
The first time or last week. They took a completely opposite route. They thought, you know what? Screw the confinement measures. We're gonna beat this, and we're gonna develop, public immunity to the disease.
Herd immunity.
Herd immunity. I compared Sweden to Greece. Very similar populations. Sweden at that point had, I think, over 2,500 deaths. Greece has barely, I think, 300. I don't think they've passed the 300 mark. So Greece has been exemplary in the way that they've managed this the pandemic. So I mean, Sweden is taking one approach. You have thousands of deaths versus Greece, same population that managed it super well. A couple hundred people died. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens, because their argument is, judge us in 6 to 8 months. You'll see your numbers are going to be much closer to us because we will have developed an immunity and won't be affected by it.
By the way, George,
I don't trust the Swedes.
They're currently at 3,175 deaths, 135 up from yesterday. Greece is at 150, plus 2 from yesterday. That's it. Okay. Greece is going to get hit by a major wave when travel resumes. Tourism picks up.
It's funny that you mentioned that, and we're gonna we're going away the topic here, but
and also, dude, Phil, I don't like the insulting tone that you're taking, because Greeks are not scared of a flu. That's what you're forgetting. The Greeks are not scared of a virus. All right, they've been dealing with viruses, all right, called their neighbors, for years, and they're fine. They can handle this, Phil.
No, the Greek prime minister, and I've been following for a while. He's been doing a great job, and now
Kirk.
You're just a Kirk fanboy from what I've seen.
Yeah, you are.
I don't like how much of a fanboy you are. You're like, he can do no wrong, bro. He can do
How
lots
does your
wrong.
dad feel about your sentiment, George?
I'm not sure. My dad is he never liked that.
Good.
The ruling class.
But listen, you have to give it to the guy, man. The guy has been doing a great job in Greece from the day he was elected. And concerning the tourism, obviously it's about 20% of Greece's economy, tourism. So they've already started taking measures to see how they're going to manage that. They don't want to stop tourism because obviously it's so important.
Yeah.
They have started negotiating with certain countries to create tourism corridors.
Yeah.
So they did that with Israel. They're planning something with Australia. So I'm guessing they're going to look at countries where most of their tourists come in from, and make sure that on both sides they take the proper.
I heard they're open for business for tourists. He said yesterday, your boy Kirk, July 1st. Is that still true?
Yeah, I think they're postponing it to July. And with these measures in place, hopefully the people coming from whatever country, if they're going to be in this kind of agreement, like the tourism corridors, people are going to go there, healthy, COVID negative.
That's stupid. Unless they get tested, we don't know.
But that's the whole point, that I think from what I read, and it's not yet detailed, but the idea is for them to be tested before they travel from their country and once they arrive to Greece. And that way, everyone is kind of playing it safe. Look, you got to give it to them. They've been managing it very well. But to go back to Sweden, Poseidon, their argument was, look, judge us in 6 to 8 months when you see your numbers are going to be the same like ours. But at the same time, why put people's lives at risk? Compared to Greece, same population. They took one avenue and they have, barely 200 deaths. The other people are over 3,000. These are people that died, regardless of how you think things are going to end up.
Sweden doesn't value human life the way we do. Have you seen IKEA? Bro, they ruin families. They destroy families in trying to build this goddamn furniture. They don't care about us, all right? The Swedes don't give a shit.
Also, this has been going on since late November, December. What the hell? Anyway,
Poseidon, thank you for adding. Thank you for adding.
No, but
this fucking virus doesn't get tired, bro. Since November,
I'm trying to say something.
It's fucking 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm barely up. How's this virus going strong for months, bro? What is it drinking? Somebody's got to test it. Performance enhancing drugs.
Red Bull.
So what's the solution? Is what I'm saying at the end of the day, because this has been going on for a while, and in 2017 we had an influenza outbreak apparently.
Well, this is all influenza, no?
Batted an eye.
H1N1.
Yeah.
It's not true that no one batted an eye. It wasn't 2017. It was earlier than that, I think.
Are you talking about SARS?
2017.
Sorry?
Is he talking about SARS?
No, he's talking about H1N1. And I was still working I was in the healthcare system at that. I wasn't a doctor or anything, obviously. I was like a clerk. But it was pretty intense to be on the inside of the system during H1N1. George, you were still in politics during that time.
I never got any of this stuff. I never got SARS, never got H1N1.
No, SARS, we didn't really have any cases in Montreal. Toronto got all the glory there.
Yeah.
But H1N1 was there was mass trainings that we had to do, and there was these mass vaccination clinics. And I saw a lot of that same procedure and protocol when I went to the Quartier des Spectacles to get tested for COVID.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time we're dealing with a pandemic. What's so different here? There's a wild card factor here. We just don't know what this fucking thing is going to do.
I think the media helps in adding fear.
Yeah,
to people.
100%.
I think the death toll virus killing the globe up next. I think that scares the shit out of people, because a lot of people that I speak to, all they tell me is what they saw in the news. People are dying, and I don't want to. Whoa, calm the fuck down, man. You realize that you can't say, but 5% of people have died. Okay, what about 95% of people that survived? It depends how you look at it. Don't listen to the fucking news. Just get the facts and jump out. If you just sit there watching this all day, of course you're gonna get scared. It's all you do is watch horror movies. You're gonna be scared of everything. You're gonna look behind the curtain. You're gonna look in the fucking closet, right?
That's why I don't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how critical would you be if you wouldn't have these figures every day? You'd be like, well, what's going on? Where are we? Why are you hiding?
Give the figures, but you don't need to put dramatic music.
There you go.
You don't need to put dramatic music. You don't need to show a fucking skull and numbers next to it. You don't need to do that shit. You can just be like, look, right now we're continuing measures to keep it. You could keep a positive tone of I'm in. No, but it's a little crazy. Just calm your fucking tits. Tell us what we need to do. Tell us this is happening. We're not 100% sure. Put the mask on. Use hand sanitizer. Be careful. Social distancing. You can say it in a way. You can say it in a way that in the beginning they scared the shit out of everybody, dude. In the beginning,
they were downplaying shit,
dude. When we're shutting down. Do you remember the first weekend when they I remember my show. When my show got shut down that first weekend, it was literally you're not allowed 250 people or more. You're responsible if people show up at your show and fucking get it and die. Whoa, what the fuck, die? What is happening outside? And then it just got worse. I remember the first week I wanted to go to the Poseidon. You were with me when I went to Cafe Neo. I walk in, I'm the only one. They were panicking, but nobody was fucking wearing masks. I was the only one wearing a mask that day, right? I walk in, they're like, why are you wearing a mask? That's scary. Like, do you have something? And I was also the only one that got tested in that whole fucking room. And they were looking at me like I was the bad guy. And what do they have on the screen? The death toll. The global death toll on YouTube. Remember every country, and it was going up.
There's no sports now, right?
But I'm just saying that's the mentality everywhere. Everyone was looking at the deaths and they were panicking. And of course, and you see old people getting beat up in Walmart because they're not wearing masks, they're not keeping social distancing. You saw these videos on. You've seen this shit, Poseidon, or anyone?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen
those
those
seen
videos.
that
Actually.
video.
George has seen it. George keeps his finger on the pulse, and they're throwing people like, "Get the fuck away from me, lady! Why aren't you social distancing?" When I went to the bank, a guy was yelling at an old man because he was too close. He goes, "Hey, buddy, that's not 2 fucking meters," and he's yelling at an old Greek man, and I laughed.
That's entirely the wrong way to go by it. Like when I bump into older folks, I tell them, "Hey, man, look, you're a little bit older. You're a little more susceptible to the sickness. Keep your distance from people." I try to help them out. You know that people are assholes, man. That pisses me off.
Do we have like a halo overlay that you can throw on Poseidon right now?
No.
How funny would that?
I'm not saying I'm a good
yo,
guy. That's not
yo,
what I'm
old
trying to
man. Let me tell you, bro. You susceptible to that sexy ass virus, right? So step back, step back.
No. That's not what I'm trying to say. And why are we freaking out exactly? We've had 4,500 something deaths out of a population of 30 something million, and we've tested apparently Canada has tested 1 million people, and there's 65,000 confirmed cases.
Bro, this guy looked up stats on his phone and he's wide awake
right now. Yeah,
I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing repeatedly everywhere on all the websites. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying.
No.
What are we really freaking out about?
We should, Poseidon, what I'm saying is we should freak out in the sense that we should be responsible, right? And take care of the people around us, take care of the country. But people are not helping, and by people I mean the media, don't help when they add fear to the mix. You know, you could tell. Do you remember when there's you remember that shooter in Washington, the guy who had that boy with him he was driving by and had the gun years ago, and they were sniping people. You remember that shooter in Washington?
In the trunk or something.
So now the smart thing was right away you set an alert. Look, there's a shooter, get in the house, right? But this whole what happened an hour after of it could be anyone, it could be your neighbor. We don't know who it is. You don't need that. Tell people stay safe, go inside. You know, but they make it theatrical. You don't need that because right now that's what's happening. That's why people are beating people up in the street because they're getting too close. They're scared because they really think that by someone being too close to you, this virus is gonna fucking start consuming you. You're gonna fucking melt or whatever the fuck they're thinking, and you're done. Your lungs are finished. Like, calm down. Just tell us what we need to know. We'll keep safe. We're adults.
But it's also important during a period of crisis to control the message that comes out. I don't know if any of you have noticed. The press conferences, the journalists are limited to 2 questions next. They don't want this getting out of control. Of course, the journalist at the end of the day is going to write his article or her article the way that he or she wants to. But I've noticed this. Whether it's Premier Legault or Justin Trudeau, it's 2 questions maximum next. And it's really, let's move. And that I don't think that's random. It's done purposely to make sure that everything is controlled, and it's not to give the opportunity to every journalist to ask a question either. I mean, that's
this is not the time. For that, as far as they're concerned.
I think this is exactly the time.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that's what they're saying.
You're saying
this is not the time for.
Poseidon, you're saying it's exactly the time to ask politicians questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go fuck with politicians. I want to know what the doctors and the scientists are saying.
Yeah.
Well,
the ones that aren't paid by China. Everyone else, I want to know what they're fucking saying. Everyone else, I want to know what they're saying. Why do you shake your heads? Do you guys find it normal that for us to want to accept information from China that's been lying to us this whole fucking time? How is that rational?
No, obviously not. This is a country that built a fucking wall, guys. Think about that for a second. You don't believe anything that comes out of there.
What do you mean? The wall is the best thing they ever did.
Because it keeps them in there?
No. It's just because Mongolians, bro. You got to protect yourself. That was the smartest. China wouldn't exist now.
Fine.
Why do you want to kill Chinese people?
Then we'd all be fine and going about our daily lives and paying a lot of money for microchips.
By the way, the wall was built a long time ago, Phil.
I know. I'm just saying. Why are you only allowed to jump to fucking crazy hyperbole? Why can't I do it?
I can't. We can't tell when you're doing it, bro. It's a sense of humor that is missing. We can't tell.
Just like when I suggested that we get the natives to help us store the gas, and you guys all attacked me.
I didn't attack you for that. The natives should use the reserves to store the gas, but make some cash money.
Yeah, they should make some cash. That's all I was saying.
So no, look,
George, what do you think?
basically what Phil is trying to say is that the Chinese are not to be trusted, and I second that. I agree with you, Phil. Obviously, the Chinese government, the Chinese people have no say in any of this. The Chinese people are lucky to be around right now.
Did you see yesterday's press conference when the journalist asked Justin Trudeau about China
and he walked off? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see this. What did he do?
I sent it to George. So he asks Justin Trudeau a question about. Hold on. You know what? Try to explain it, G. I could bring it up. Because I sent it to you.
So basically, the reporter asks Justin why he hasn't yet been vocal about China and all the disinformation and all that stuff. And obviously, his answer had nothing to do with the question,
as usual.
And there was just no follow-up question. Thank you very much. Ciao. And he just walks by, and then you kind of hear the journalist in the background. She's like, "Well, what about China?" And as he's walking, yeah. Look, I could play
it for everyone.
I think he's still the only one within the G7 countries that hasn't been critical towards China. Everyone else has.
Yeah, he's scared.
Here we go.
I'll play it right now. You guys ready?
Ready.
Marika Walsh with the Globe and Mail. The former Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull, says China is a bully, and that the way for Canada to deal with China is to stand up for it instead of backing down. Is your government standing up to China, or is it backing away from China?
My responsibility as Prime Minister is to make sure that we're providing for Canadians and keeping Canadians safe. That's the job people expect me to do, and that is exactly what I'm doing. We're going to ensure that Canadians have the equipment, the supplies, the support they need to make it through this pandemic. Of course, at the same time, we will be asking difficult questions about how we're making it through this pandemic, how this came to happen, how we can learn from this. There'll be plenty of time for questions in the months to come. My focus, rightly, is on doing everything I can.
Still hasn't answered the question. So you're going to stand up to China? Thank you very much. He fucks off.
Marika
You know what, guys?
Walsh,
I have to give it to him, though. I have to give it to him. Like, that is such a great answer from the.
It is.
That's a non-answer. He never answered.
But look, I'm telling you from a communications perspective, like that's exactly the answer you need to give.
Oh, a non-answer.
How do you answer that if you don't want to? You can't.
Yeah, exactly. You just focus on what we're doing. What my focus is on Canadians, and basically saying, look, I don't care what's happening in China, and we're gonna deal with that later.
He never said I don't care what's happening in China, and when he said I care about my people getting their equipment, didn't we just receive another 8 million defective masks that we can't use from them again?
Yeah, you sent me something.
Yeah.
Right?
So what the fuck? So what the fuck's he talking about? He's not even doing what he says he's doing.
Yeah. Also, if this government really cared about Canadians, they would have done something back in January when they knew about this.
Fucking tell him, Poseidon. Fucking tell him, Poseidon.
Okay. Going hard today.
Yeah.
Bro, if
Poseidon
they actually
2021.
cared,
Poseidon, Dude, when Justin
this whole
Trudeau
thing-
and that deputy prime minister of his that he has, that weird looking, that angry looking woman, the military briefed them in, was it 22nd or January 28th? And they told me, this is coming, it's in China, you got to be careful, you got to prepare. What do? Oh, la 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 la, we don't hear nothing, la la la. They did shit all. They did fuck all.
But you know what, Poseidon? There are certain like I'm thinking about the U.S. for example, California, and in Canada, Alberta, who took measures really early on towards the end of January in securing some supplies and stocking on equipment. And California is doing a fantastic job in the U.S. and so is Alberta in Canada. In fact, Alberta is providing equipment to the rest of Canada because they were so well prepared.
Yeah, people talk shit about Alberta, but Alberta fucking came out swinging.
Yeah. So you're right in the sense that had they taken measures beforehand, maybe it would have been a better situation. But the problem there is, how do you explain to the public what you're doing without sounding the alarm, especially when no one else in the Western world is doing anything?
So the government refuses to tell us important things. They never do. You're telling me they couldn't have supplied each province with equipment, measures, educate the staff before this hits without telling the rest of us? They don't tell us anything. This is something they couldn't keep a secret. What, are we all fucking crazy now?
Yeah, I think the medical personnel knows exactly what they have to do in these circumstances. So I don't know if it has anything to do with briefing them. I think the professionals, they know what they have to do.
I don't know. Poseidon sent me a video of nurses and they were just pole dancing. So on TikTok, so I have no idea.
I'm doing TikTok dances.
Look, at the same time, and just to play devil's advocate here, I mean, when you're pulling shifts of I don't know how many hours, and I know nurses. You know,
Oh, we're just busting balls. The nurses that are doing the TikTok videos are normally not in hospitals that have any outbreak. They're in the dead hospitals that don't have any.
But even
Well,
if they
some of them are.
But even if
They're
they
pole
are,
dancing next to COVID patients. I don't know, bro.
but even if you are, you know, you took 2 minutes, man, to have a laugh.
That's fine.
You know,
Morale.
yeah, it's good. No, but guys, you don't understand. I know this girl who's a nurse at the Jewish, and she works in that division. They're taking care of COVID patients.
Yeah, she doesn't have time to shake that ass.
No, but guys, it is really, really stressful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it's not the videos that people are getting mad at. They're like they don't have time to save people, but they're shaking their ass. Though they're funny videos. Most of those videos, if you look at them, they're from hospitals that don't have.
No, but even her. I mean, she at some point she shared some pictures with some colleagues laughing. You know, some selfies.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as choreographing a dance number. Right?
Yeah,
it's not the same nurses. It's two different.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen, dude. The
But
funniest.
there's so many of them.
Oh, she hasn't seen the dead body. The funniest one, the one that got the most heat.
No, I haven't seen that.
Was it wasn't a real dead body. It was like 6 nurses and another one as if it's a dead body. You ever seen that meme with those Africans with the dancing coffin?
Yeah.
So they played that music, and the guy had COVID-19 written on his feet, and the nurses were dancing him off. You know, like so.
That's fucking in poor taste. That's amazing.
It's in super poor taste considering that they're nurses. I thought it was funny, but it still is. Obviously, you're telling people to go fuck themselves. But the thing that people have to remember is that most of those videos, when they get found out and, you know, the hospital gets mad, they're coming from hospitals that were the ones that were set up and ready, and they, you know, they overstaffed and nobody showed up. So they actually have free. They're not taking. They're like, okay, that guy might die, but bro, I gotta choreograph this fucking dance number. So no, it's just poor optics. Like for the nurses that are working hard, like the ones you said in the Jewish, I think that when they see these videos, they must lose their shit. They're like, I'm working my ass off. I take the bus and people are yelling at me like, why the fuck were you pole dancing, whore? You know, so they get in this shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because that's what happens. Optics, bro. People, they see one and they put everyone in a group, right?
African coffin dance.
Yeah.
COVID-19 edition.
Then again, I guess if you're a nurse and you feel like you're representing nurses, maybe you should think about the other nurses that are busy before you post that. I don't know. Do you have to be responsible for the rest?
Working like hours that don't make sense, that are unfathomable to the rest of us while we're bitching about being quarantined at home.
Yeah,
and
by the way,
they should
not
be
bitching.
allowed to fucking let loose if they want to. Like, fucking freedom of expression. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. As long as no one's dying because of it.
Who was on? Oh, Milton. Milton called me yesterday from Seattle. He works at a hospital down there now. He's moved over there, and he told me that they're taking pretty good measures. He said they're pretty well equipped. But he was talking to me about the situation, how, you know, some people working crazy hours at the hospital and they're going a little crazy. And one guy who's not allowed to go in his house, his wife won't let him in just in case he catches something and gives to the kids. And then I told him,
fair.
Yeah, and I told him that's fucking very cool, but that's also not that depressing. I told him, Milton. The guy's eating. He's same thing with me. I'm not acting like I'm depressed because, like, I could still eat. I have a place to live. No one's sick around me. There's other stuff to bitch about. There's people right now who lost their job. A family member is in the hospital because they're sick. Someone's in an old folks home. They're worried. They're thinking about how that shit is heavy, right? I have no reason to complain. In if you put everything into perspective, you know, we have to. Of course. You know, we have to count our blessings too. It's not always negative.
It's funny that you mentioned Seattle. There was a journalist yesterday on the radio mentioning Seattle and how they have managed this situation exceptionally well, primarily because I think Amazon and is it Microsoft or some other? Is it Google? I can't remember. They have their headquarters over there, and we're talking
Starbucks. It's Starbucks.
No. It's some computer, high tech, whatever it is. I think it's.
It just sounded so old. It's a computer.
I think Microsoft has it. Microsoft has.
So Microsoft does have offices there. There's Amazon that has a major distribution hub too.
Amazon and Microsoft. So we're talking about tens of thousands of employees.
Yeah.
And the fact that these companies told everyone stay home, don't do anything. You know, just in terms of public transport and everyone just going to work every single day, just those numbers of people staying home helped make the situation more controllable.
Of course.
And he was mentioning that. I just found it fascinating.
Listen, nerds, stay home. But also, we can work from home, a lot of us.
Yeah.
Poseidon, you could pretend to do your job at home, too.
I was actually reading really interesting article about WeWork, the co-working space.
Yeah, you told me they're eating dicks. Huh?
They're fucking. They were spread thin to start with because they were making money, and their whole business model is cramming people into a space, right? And that's just not going to fly moving forward. And the margins are slim when you reduce the number of occupants. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the world's going to look like after this. Like, there is incredible opportunity for a better work-life balance post-COVID-19 globally. In the developed world, like nothing's going to change in like the shanty towns of India, except a lot of people are going to die because they're not working from home.
Trust me, if you could swim in sewage and you're fine, this is not going to bother them, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to that point, they are working from home because they live in the dump yards where they pick up trash. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I have no sense of humor. I have no delivery skills. That was dark.
I laughed.
Yeah, thank you for that, Poseidon. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's interesting. Like, I'm seeing like announcements coming from like these big companies, like where my wife works, who luckily is on mat leave now, so we don't really need to worry about her having to work from home. Like, they were super against work from home. They were always very suspicious. What do you mean you want to work from home? Mm-hmm. Sure you do. Now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, this makes financial sense.
Yeah. Also, we don't want to get sued.
It doesn't matter why. The question is that, not the question. The point is things are going to change, and there's opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
There's definitely some opportunity. Just like I said, count your blessings, and you know, if you could still, you still have a place to live. The people around you are still healthy. You can help people in different ways around you. There's still positives in this, and also it's going to wake a lot of us up to the fact that just because you have an elected official doesn't mean that they're qualified. A politician doesn't make them overqualified, and hopefully people, because of this, they respect more the doctors. They respect more the plumbers, the scientists, and also the people who do all the handwork, like all the shit that you can't do now. Like mechanics shutting down here fucked a lot of people over, and they didn't realize, like, God damn, these fucking mechanics are a critical part of society. Yeah, every people that you don't think about are the truck drivers. Are one of the most critical part of the way we live now with these delivery systems. All the people that were, I'm not saying forgotten, but you just don't think about it, right? So, and hopefully it'll push people. Yeah, hopefully it'll push people to maybe young kids that were thinking of, I'm gonna get a major in gender studies. That's gonna lead to no job. Maybe it'll lead them to be like, you know what, fuck that, man. I'm becoming an electrician or I don't want to live through this again. I want to be able to make shit with my hands, or mechanics. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'm an old man trapped in a not so old man's body, and I'm just talking like an idiot. But I think that's what it shows. It shows a lot, like, put positive things into perspective. We don't always have to look at the negative. And like I said, is you could say 5% people are dying. You could also look at it as, look, 95% people are still surviving. So we gotta make a way for this to work in the future. Now,
yeah, exactly.
Having said that, guys, there's news that you didn't know I was going to bring up, but I will, because George would never cover this topic.
Oh boy.
Because it's hilarious. So Tekashi 6ix9ine. Poseidon, do you want to tell people who Tekashi 6ix9ine is and what happened to him before I bring up the video?
Yeah, who is this?
He is basically a glorified snitch.
No. Before, he's a troll. He's a troll rapper from New York.
He's
a
troll
Mexican
rapper.
kid.
Okay, he's a troll rapper. Okay, well, snitch. Yeah, he is a snitch, but also.
So long story short, he became famous on the internet. He was one of like SoundCloud rappers, how we talk about the new age rap. So he had music videos. He put them online. He started becoming bigger. Started beefing with other young rappers, and he just stopped giving a fuck. He would say crazy shit online. He would always go on Instagram Live. He would use social media. He would use Twitter and to become a star. Okay, and so a lot of people, he was causing fights with a lot of people that they would talk about him. It was a very smart strategy, and he was involved with this gang. Now, what happened was there was wiretaps, all this shit. They put him and the whole gang in prison. And, who's listening to the show while we're on? Somebody just put it on, so I heard myself double. So
no, there was a glitch in the feed. I saw it.
Anyways, point is, he went to jail and he was looking at Life. Poseidon, that's what he was looking at, right? Remember Life? Because he was involved in plots for murder, all kinds of shit with this gang.
Oh.
But that gang that he was with, that he brought them up, pistol whipped him. They kidnapped him. They tried to rob him. They beat the shit out of him.
Forgot about that.
While he was in jail, one of them fucked his baby mama.
No.
They tried to kidnap his mom. On the phone, they were recorded saying how they were planning on murdering him. So they were all gonna fuck him over, and they were already fucking him over, right? So when he had a chance to snitch on them to get out, he fucking sang like a goddamn canary, okay? And I said, remember at the time, what did I say? It's not that big of a deal. I agree with him snitching on these cocksuckers, no matter when, don't snitch or whatever. They tried to kill him. They kidnapped him. They tried to kill his mom. You crazy, try to fuck with my mom. Dude, you're all in jail or dead if you try to fuck with my mom. So all that shit happened, and now he was supposed to get out in August, but they let him out early because he's asthmatic. So the judge didn't want to be responsible in case he dies because of COVID-19. So they let this kid out early. So he went on Instagram Live last night to announce his.
Oh God.
And you're gonna laugh. I'm gonna put on right now. But also, it hit a record 2 million plus Instagram Live views, and everyone was watching it. Drake, like all the big celebrities were watching him, and he broke all the records. But you have to see this, and you're gonna understand why it's amazing.
All right, I'm in.
This is how he made his announcement to the world. This is the pre-show.
Respect.
This motherfucker, bro. The best troll. Handcuffs. The best fucking troll, bro. Now I respect him. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah! Like a bloody fool. You must get cool.
Doesn't give a fuck, bro. He was facing life in prison.
We broke the record. What happened?
Look at this.
Y'all ain't getting money. Talking hot shit. Niggas to roll with. Full shit. I'm on my dolly.
Hold on, you
The
got
diamonds in them teeth.
Look at what he's saying though. Look at what he
So
says.
cringy.
It's heavy as fuck. Right here. Come take this off real quick. I'm gonna get back to this. Hold on. Let me take all this jewelry off. I don't give my old jewelry back to get new jewelry. This is $500,000.
A shark.
$500,000. Look at the diamonds in them teeth.
Poseidon, you have to beef with Tekashi 69 online.
Nobody got this watch. Well, I think like 2 people got it, but if you don't got this watch, we can't beef.
We can't beef if you don't got this watch. I love this.
At all. If you don't got this watch right here, this watch, over $500,000, why we can't beef? I broke the YouTube. I'm at 5 million views in 1 hour. Y'all can't even get 100,000 views. Listen.
He's fucking
can't beef.
amazing.
There's no beef. I'm the king. Y'all know this. Listen, you know the legendary shit that I be talking about?
No.
You know why people so mad? Because they thought it was over for me. They counted me out. You ratted, it's over for you. Y'all could never cooperate with the government and come back. Y'all could never do that. I'm a living legend at the age of 24 years old.
He's 24, bro.
You hear me? Look at these 1.6 million. Shout out to Tory, shout out to Drake, shout out to Bad Bunny. Y'all niggas can never.
This is amazing.
Stop playing with me.
I'm uncomfortable.
This is 2020, bro.
1.6 million. 1.6
That's a
million.
shark.
The shark from Finding Nemo.
Look at the watch, though, eh?
We can't beef. Me and y'all not the same. King of why I keep hearing King of New York, King of New York. Y'all not the kings of New York. Look at the numbers. Oh, why he winning right now, yo? How y'all let that kid rat, right? How y'all let him rat and come home to beat, still get more numbers than us, break all the records? Why y'all let?
He's
y'all
right.
Can't stand it or something?
Why is he
Y'all can't stand it. Y'all can't listen. You live your whole life, right? You live your whole life trying to be a real nigga. And this
That's
is
my whole life.
This is real Danny shit. Fuck 6ix9ine, right? This is some Daniel Hernandez shit.
No, he's
You live your whole life trying to be a real nigga, trying to be a stand-up tall, loyal guy. To try to shit on a kid like me, to be like, yo, fuck that, he's a rat. to be like, yo, he ratted, to then a rat like me to come home and still do more numbers than you, I would be mad too. I would be mad too. If a rat came home and did more numbers than me, I would be mad too. I would.
My God.
I promise you I would be mad.
Hold on,
if a rat for 2 years, y'all made fun of me, y'all done made memes of me, y'all done threw my name in the dirt, yo, rat, bitch, fucking.
It's true, the memes were amazing, remember?
What I went through, and I still came home, and I'm a legend at the age of 24 years old.
He's right.
Because I came home, and a rat is doing more numbers than you. I don't blame you, nigga.
Hold on.
And another thing I want to address, for the King of New York shit,
it's
over. Because you know what? It wasn't worth it. It wasn't.
You have to hear.
With my baby mother.
Yeah, listen to this.
So-called his loyalty and everything.
Yeah, I agree with him on this. Listen to what he says.
And I'm going to tell you what. If there is a street code, right? If there is a street code and there's something so-called as loyalty and everything and no snitching and all of that, I get it, right? But where was the loyalty when you was sleeping with my baby mother? Where was the loyalty when you was caught on the wiretap trying to kill me? Where was the loyalty when you tried to kidnap my mother? Where was the loyalty when you was stealing millions of dollars from me? Where was that? So who broke it first?
Yeah.
All right, I get it. Don't fight fire with fire. I'm sorry. But what did I do wrong? Be loyal
the
to
face
niggas that's
tattoos were
fucking
wrong.
my baby moms? Be loyal to niggas that kidnap me? Beat the shit out of me on video and everything? I'm supposed to be loyal to that? No, you know what? You know what it is? Y'all don't want to accept the fact that
he
those
made a
is
good
all
point.
true facts.
He did
Y'all
make
don't
an
wanna
okay point.
Y'all understand why I snitch. Y'all understand. Y'all don't want to understand.
Who's
It's
gonna
not that
give me
y'all
back
don't
these 2
understand.
minutes of
Y'all
my
don't
life?
want to understand.
Nobody. They're gone forever.
They're gone.
Jeez.
First of all, you need to understand that they're gone. Okay, those 2 minutes you just lost them.
Just accept it.
Just accept it, and also understand, sir, that this is the future. He's gonna be my next guest on Pantelis podcast or on Two Drink Minimum. We're gonna get him on.
No, you can't because you ain't like him. You ain't got this watch. You ain't like him.
Oh, you haven't seen my watches, Phil. Hold on. The best admit he gets on and he just gets made fun of. We're like, Takashi got one of these watches? No, Takashi, you have one of these watches. This is a Casio Classic.
Casio G-Shock.
I honestly, I agree. Look, I agree with him in the sense that because we're all making fun of, everyone was making fun of him. They made all the memes for 2 years for him being a rat and all that shit. And how could he do this? And he's never going to come back. But they pistol whipped him. They beat the shit out of him on camera. They robbed him for millions of dollars. They fucked his girlfriend. They tried to kidnap his mom. They hired people to try to murder him. And then, you know what? He's very lucky. This guy's got a horseshoe up his ass. This guy should have been dead a long time ago.
Yo, y'all ain't like Takeshi. Y'all ain't like me. That's why. He's unkillable.
That's Takashi, sir.
Yeah, you know what? Good. I used to think his name was Hitachi, and then everybody's like, no, it's Takashi. I was like, no, it's Hitachi 69.
Like not Takeshi.
No, it's Takashi. But
I'm thinking of Takeshi Kumachi from,
dude, he is. What do you want me to tell you? It's a sign of. First of all, it's a sign of the times.
Yeah, of course.
That everything is a product now, so it doesn't matter whether he snitched or even if. It doesn't. None of this matters. Even if it's just a show, it doesn't matter because people just like the product.
None of it matters.
It's just a product. Yeah, but dude, he's breaking records, dude. He has his finger on the pulse. He gets it. He understands it more than a lot of other people. The way that game is going, and he's capitalizing on it. He's making money.
Honestly, the future is scary.
Yeah.
Like Gen Z scares me, like more than I can put into words.
Imagine the gangsters couldn't kill him, but he's gonna get coronavirus and that takes him out. That would be fucking. What a funny end. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want anybody to die, but that would be hilarious.
Oh, those two girls,
you ain't like me. What?
Those two girls were not social distancing.
No. He shot a music video in a studio, and the music video went up last night and broke all kinds of records. YouTube fucking had all kinds of problems because it went like I think in a half hour, like 1 point something million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he did it in a studio with all kinds of extras and background. No one wearing masks. No one social distancing.
They're all gonna die.
New York?
Yeah, New York. Yeah, it's New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe place to do all that. Yeah, for sure.
And when he first came out, like a week or two ago, or a couple weeks ago now, people were videotaping in the street. The first thing he did when he got home is he got into his Lamborghini and drove off. It's fucking. Yeah, look. You have to understand that a lot of people in the game that were mad at him was a lot of jealousy too, because he's young and he just says nonsense and he's making money, so people are mad. Like, I'm working so hard. Why is he making it? You have to put your jealousy aside and realize that he has his finger on the pulse. He knows what they want to hear, and he's a fucking troll. He doesn't give a fuck. He said the craziest shit to people he should have never beefed with, because he has no sense of preserving his own life. He's just out there fucking around. So he is this generation in a nutshell. He's the ultimate troll. Look at the hair. Look, he's just trolling. Fucking face tattoos, dude. He has
really perfect teeth. I noticed.
Well,
for a rapper.
He might. Yeah, he still has good teeth. Yeah, but he used to wear grills all the time, like these shiny ass like grills. He's just fucking around. Yeah. So that's who's out of jail, George. I wanted you to know.
George's face is priceless.
That's yeah.
You know what George is thinking? He's like, "Fuck, man! If this is the boys of tomorrow. I have daughters. What am I gonna do?"
Imagine Tekashi comes home and he's like, "Hi, Mr. Yo, what's up, Mr. G?
No. Imagine,
nice to meet you."
That's the trend. That's how everyone is. Like kids in the future, they're all like that.
Yeah. I don't mean him. I mean a guy like him.
Yeah,
a guy
yeah.
who looks like him.
What up, Papa G?
Makes you hope your daughters are both lesbians, doesn't it?
No, I mean this is live, so I'll keep my comments to myself.
So the reason why I brought that up is I put my opinion out there that I don't feel like him snitching is a surprise or that he shouldn't have done it, given the circumstance that those people were disloyal and tried to kill him. But what do you guys think? In that scenario, in terms of, I'm just asking about the snitching, not about his character, not about anything else. Just people were talking shit about him saving his own life by snitching on the people that were fucking his girlfriend and trying to kill him and his mom.
Good for him.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah, George is angry
about what Takeshi does. First time I see this guy, I thought it was like a Nintendo game.
It's Takashi.
He's running for prime minister.
Pantelis is putting out a moral dilemma for you.
Yeah.
Should someone, not this guy, if your life is in danger and snitching to the government, the man is the only way to protect yourself, is that really a bad thing? I would say no.
Well,
it's fine.
In his shoes, if I was facing life and I had, Mike and Poseidon and I could throw them under the bus, for example, I wouldn't do it, if like we are now as a team. But if I find out that Mike was trying to kill me, Poseidon was trying to bang my fucking girlfriend, stuff like that, bro, I'd fucking make them burn in hell. So it's two totally different scenarios. You know what I mean? If your people are loyal to you, gotta be loyal. You went in together, you fucked up, you pay the price, right? The consequence.
Exactly.
But why would you be loyal to people that were about to murder you? They're on wiretap trying to murder you, trying to murder your mom. They stole millions from you. They beat you up on camera. They beat the shit out of him on camera. That's embarrassing, right? But you know what, this motherfucker, you know what I think he did, the strategy nowadays that he did, a lot of people don't use? He owned up to it. He's like, yeah, they beat the shit out of me. They fucked my my baby mama. He didn't say, like, it never happened. He's admitting to it. And I think that takes power away from a lot of the detractors. I think that's a strategy a lot of people should learn to use. Like, for example, Trudeau, instead of walking away, right? He should have said, look, yeah, the truth is we depended on China. We trusted them. They sold us shitty things. They didn't let our planes take any medical supplies. They lied about the numbers. It's true, but we're going to try to work. There's still another country that we're dealing with. We're going to try to work with them in the future. You know what I mean? Just be honest, address it. What is the media going to say? Yeah.
Are you suggesting right now on a live stream on YouTube that the thing that Justin Trudeau could do to better his government's response to
be more like Tekashi 6ix9.
Like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Be more Trudeau. If Trudeau could be more like Tekashi 6ix9ine, and I don't. And all
somebody
I mean is
that memes. Get on Photoshop. And
somebody get on Photoshop. Put the 6ix9ine tattoos.
I agree.
But all I mean is not the fate. Not all I mean is just owning up to it, because I feel like that's his big thing right now. Because he doesn't have anything else of substance. Like his music, I don't like his music. Like he doesn't have anything of substance. Tekashi.
Trudeau.
No, Tekashi. Well, Trudeau too, but Tekashi. But what he did is own up to it. He came out and said, yeah, I'm a fucking rat. Yeah, I did this. Yeah. So I think if Trudeau would do that, then maybe those surprise elections would help him, because people would be like, yeah, well, what are we going to say against him? He already fucking said it for us.
Yeah.
Well, that's an old technique, right? That's nothing new.
I didn't say it's new. I'm saying he's using it. Eminem did it first. Tekashi's doing it now.
You gotta get out in front of it and gaslight their fucking population.
Yeah.
Make them doubt their own fucking
Not doubt,
understanding
it's true. This is what happened. Let's move forward.
No, I know, but if they're doubting it because you're telling them the stuff that they think is a big secret, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, nobody thinks it's a big secret. They just think he won't admit to it. It's not the Chinese thing.
I was just saying. Yeah, everybody knows.
George is very angry right now. George does not want
George
to
is like, what the hell is happening?
I'm just wondering, how the hell did we get Tekashi? Okay.
George, listen, this is the morning show. It doesn't make any sense. It's early. We're trying our best to tackle the current event. Is that more dental floss, Poseidon? Are you flossing your teeth on camera?
No, I'm not on camera. I'm using it as a ring.
Oh, see
Yeah.
this ring
I
right
don't
here?
know.
See this ring right here?
I don't
You ain't
know
got
why.
this ring. Nobody
Ain't
got this
nobody
ring.
got this
Well,
ring.
2 people got this
Tweet
ring.
Tekashi. Be like, if you ain't got this ring, Tekashi, we ain't beefing.
There it is.
There it is.
Clean teeth, bro.
You know you are. You're the shark on Tekashi's chest. You have the same face.
There's more value on that shark.
There's more there's definitely more value on that shark. $500,000 worth. You don't find that those you find that jewelry on rappers is too much?
Yeah, way too much.
It's a bit much, eh?
Get it.
So G Funk, did we keep you too long today? Don't you have to get to work?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, George. We thank you for giving us the morning news, and we're very sorry to make you sad by showing you the future.
I'm not sad.
But look,
I'm
you
not
need
sad.
to have your finger on the pulse too, sir, and that's what's going on right now.
It's important to know what's happening in the rap community. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
SoundCloud rap community.
Yeah, and in New York, you guys thought New York was so dangerous. Then how is he walk around no mask and with asthma and he's fine?
Yeah.
You think about that. So
Good point.
the backstage podcast, you could catch George on his backstage podcast. He just dropped a new episode, I believe, yesterday morning. The backstage podcast is available everywhere, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Android Podcasts. So give it a listen. Support George. Go look in the comment section, actually in the description section, and you'll find links to his and ours social media. So George, thank you very much, and get to it.
Boys, I'll see you guys
Salute
next
you, George.
Be good,
Ciao.
G. Bye.
Later, man.
Later, G. All right, so we've lost George. Now it's the three of us. Now, normally, we would try to
I think
catch
we broke George.
We broke George. George was very upset
Yeah.
about Tekashi.
Yeah. He's
So-
very sad.
So normally, I know on Saturday mornings, we like to watch shows and stuff, but YouTube kind of got mad at us last week for watching a show. So for this week,
Yeah.
Phil, we're not going to watch a show just so that we don't get pulled again. We're figuring out on our end what to do. We're thinking of showing Phil movies. Phil, you were supposed to show a movie today, but you said you're a little hesitant.
Look, if you guys really want to, we can.
Well,
But, like,
not today, I guess, because we weren't prepared, but I would like to watch
right.
your zombie movie.
oh, I think that's actually, I was thinking if we're going to do it, I don't have that many films, right? Like, I haven't made a new film in 5 years. I've been doing corporate stuff and commercial work. But if we're going to watch anything, obviously the End of the World movie makes sense right now.
Mhm.
And the one that you're in.
I'm in a movie.
You're in my first ever release, like straight out of film school. The first film I ever sent to a festival. You have like a cameo in the cold open. You don't remember?
Oh, the goat song.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah, but all you see is the back of my head.
and the front of your head out of focus too. Yeah.
You didn't even let me speak in that. I said, "Yo, can I have a speaking role?" And you're like, "No."
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could watch Prelude
What Prelude?
to Insanity.
We still have that?
I thought you had it.
I don't know what the fuck it is. That's
I don't have a copy of it.
That-
That shit's terrible.
that shit's terrible. And you know what's crazy is
Yeah.
that technically speaking, that was also the precursor, 10-year, 11-year, or 15-year rather prelude to.
No, not 15.
Yeah, about 15. It was around.
Really?
Yeah, it was around 2000. I want to say 2006, 2007.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow. Fuck. We're old.
Yeah, it's 12 years, let's say. So, and that was kind of the first ever. That is the prelude to us doing the show that we did, Pantelis.
Yeah, and you've already shown Pantelis. We can't really. I guess we could watch it again on the morning show for anyone who missed it.
It's only available to bosses on Patreon now.
Oh well.
Oh yeah.
By all means. Yeah. Look, I'm down. We can watch the zombie movie. None of my
How long
movies
is
are that.
how long
great, I'll be
are your
honest.
movies?
The longest is 30 minutes. The shortest is 6.
How long is the zombie movie? 30.
18 minutes, 17 minutes without, maybe 15 without the credits.
Do you want us to watch your zombie movie and judge it?
Yeah, judge it. Well, sure, yeah, whatever.
Well, once you put it out there, Phil, they're gonna judge the fuck out of it.
Oh, it's already out there. It's done festivals rounds. It's gone to Cannes. It didn't do well. Like, it did okay.
All right. Well, you want to send me a link and we could put it up right now. I don't mind.
Oh, you want to do it right now?
Why
Oh,
not?
okay,
We could
hold on.
watch your zombie movie. Have
Holy
people.
shit. Peter, if you're in the audience, I'm sorry, buddy. Hold on.
I'm
sorry,
gonna
let me just find-
once we get to actually filming our stuff again, we're gonna definitely bring Peter with us to reprise his role as Leo,
As Peter.
which is basically Peter. Yeah.
So the movie itself is 18 minutes and 28 seconds long
Perfect.
with the credits.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
You want me to give it to you through the chat?
Yeah. What is it? A YouTube link?
Yeah,
Perfect.
there you go. I wonder if we're gonna get flagged.
No.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I'll get a copyright claim if there's any issue.
We'll be fine.
And even the music is all original score, so there shouldn't be any issues there.
Is there anything that they need to know before they get started? Like, is there a backstory that they need to be aware of?
Backstory. It's a zombie movie that was supposed to be. So it was made 5 years ago.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a pitch for a longer form kind of web series that I was preparing with 3 partners. The movie itself did okay in festivals. It has its issues, but like budgetary mostly. And we kind of let the project fall apart because one of our partners passed away, and we just weren't comfortable, moving on with it at that point.
Yeah.
And that's really it. It's supposed to be a film about 2 buddies and the end of the world. That's it.
Okay, so the people know what it's about.
Yeah.
So let's get this party started.
Oh boy.
I like the font.
It's a good font.
I'll get a bottle of water while murder happens.
Rob Brown, very talented.
The guy who looks like Scoof.
No, not at all.
He does. He's very angry though. Did you write that? Was that in the script? Ah. How many years ago was this?
I believe it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. Even the camera technology has like changed so drastically. That's a plug. We had a sponsorship deal with MTL Vlog for that fucking t-shirt.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled that off, but they were like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. That's my cameo picture. That's my hand.
Yeah, this is Phil's film. Phil made this five years ago. Oh, this guy's losing his fucking mind, huh? Feeling sexy. Phil, you're excited. I could see. I could tell.
I'm so uncomfortable. I hate watching
Me too.
my
Me
own
too.
work
Me
with
too.
people.
Me too.
Jason. Jason.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, Peter James!
Pietro
You're the
Ramos.
tester.
I like his leather vest.
Yo, that's all the best is custom for that movie.
For those of you wondering, Peter James plays my agent in the Pantelis pilot.
Are
He
you sure
plays
he'll
Leo.
show for 3?
The music is fantastic. It's all Vag.
It's all Vag, eh?
So then we should get moving.
We should get him to do original stuff when we start
I
filming
think it's
again.
safer for us to wait that out here.
Get the crew back
At least for
together.
now.
He's famous
What if
now.
he's
He's
already
like a
there?
social media prostitute.
I love it.
influencer.
He's not.
Fucking sniper rifle, man. We needed so many permits for that.
We stick to the plan. It takes 24 minutes to cut across the woods from Eli's place to the edge of the road. 3 minutes for safety, 27 minutes exactly. Eli knows this. Hell, he timed it himself.
Tell it, Peter.
Look,
Just
14:33, he signaled me on the walkie that he was leaving. That's 27 minutes of silence. That's the plan.
This is just like you two. This isn't a game, Jason.
No, it's game.
We never planned for anything. How can
Right,
you
so
be
that's
so
the premise,
calm?
that she doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and they had this like nerd plan when they were kids.
Did you not fucking see what was
No.
going on back there? People were... They were... Fuck!
Yes, they were fucked.
Yeah, Andrea had a hard time understanding that role. That was my fault.
Calm down.
That like not the role, that line. I wrote it poorly, I think.
Your voice down.
They were fuck, Andrea.
She was supposed to just be like fuck, like, and I just couldn't get it out to her for some reason. We were so slammed for time.
They were...
Like major director failed there.
Okay, you learn.
She's
I know you
she's
have
fucking
questions.
talented, so like that's on
Eli
me.
and me,
Yeah, what happened to her now?
we've
What'd she
been
do?
this ever since we were little kids.
She's an
Never thought it
influencer
actually
now, I
happened.
think, Andrea. Like yoga and stuff.
Do you have a survival plan for this?
No. we don't say it. Don't say that.
But why not?
We just don't say it.
Zombies copywritten and I can't say it.
Yes.
It would feel forced.
This isn't one of your movies, Jason.
For me, this is the only like hilarious line in the whole movie, and no one ever laughs in the theater. They're always like, "Why can't she fucking say it?"
Taste my nose. Okay.
I love that he's just so like fucking. If this was made today, I'd be like, look at that toxic man. He wouldn't even let her speak. He's mansplaining to her.
Meetup's in 10 minutes. You should get changed.
Look pretty, baby.
Yeah, seriously.
No, the premise is
Look,
that
I
like
love
they
how she's
left
just
on-
standing there. Like there's a fucking zombie apocalypse. What am I gonna
Like-
wear?
in the grand scheme of what we were
So
trying to
what about
build,
this
right?
plan?
They leave like on a Wednesday morning. Shit happens, and while everyone's trying to still go to work and whatever,
Yeah.
they just take off, right? So she's like dressed for work.
We meet up with Eli. Then we head north.
This is the best. I go to Andrea. I go, so you're
That's
gonna
not
change
my
in the
fault.
car while we're filming? She's like, why? I look at her. I'm like, I'm not sure. I just think it'll further the story for the right reasons, and people will enjoy it. She's like, all right.
Oh shit, Mexicans.
Yeah. That's trust. By the way, this is the day I met my sister's now husband. He was in that crowd.
I don't speak Spanish, guys.
That girl over there is kind of thick.
By the way, all of these zombies,
Yeah?
I put on a call. I don't know any of them. They all showed up, and they were fucking phenomenal. Like, if you guys go on my Instagram,
Oh, there's Scoof 2.0. The zombies. Uh-oh. Mexican zombie.
by the way, 3 years after we released this,
Yeah?
The Walking Dead last season, or 4 years,
Yeah.
did that exact same scene, like almost frame for frame.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you're exaggerating. There's no way they stole that.
I'm not, man. Peter called me. He was watching it. We checked it out. It's almost frame for frame. I'm not saying they copied it, but it made me feel good.
You should have released this earlier. Beat him to it.
We sync him up.
I did.
Globally. I love the music.
The music's amazing.
I know we was living in the city up north, but as soon as them zombies hit, we done became country folk.
It's fucking tattoo.
What's wrong? Why are we stopping?
We're here.
Right
Right there. That's where you should be.
In the bushes?
Is that Eli?
Stay here.
I gotta give it to Dave, man. The fucking soundscape of this movie is like.
Dude, Dave is the shit. Dave did our pilot too. We're
the
bringing.
sound is magnificent here. Like,
if we get to ever do the show, we're bringing Dave back.
I'm telling you, the behind the scenes that Brian, one of our producers, shot of this is arguably more captivating than the film. It's so interesting.
What happens if he doesn't show up?
He will.
What do we do if he's late?
Fuck, what a nagging bitch.
I'm supposed to wait 1 full minute.
1 minute,
Yeah,
then
like-
what?
I don't know, Annie.
Fucking stupid plan they made when they were 6.
We came up with this plan 15 years ago.
Zombies didn't exist.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was for fun. We were smoking weed, bro. You gotta put yourself in her shoes, though. She must be like, what the fuck is happening?
Uh-oh.
How much food did you pack?
Enough for 2 months.
For the 3 of us, right?
It's for 2. You're gonna die. We're sacrificing you to the zombies.
So what? We wait for him here? Exposed?
Oh my god, I hate her.
Fuck it, I'm calling on the Milwaukee.
That just testament to Andrea. She's supposed to be annoying, right, in this situation?
Yeah, I'm not mad at the person. I'm mad at the character.
Yeah.
Eli, it's
No, I'm
Annie.
just saying.
Oh no, you stupid bitch. You're gonna get him killed.
We can't wait anymore. We need to go.
What
Annie,
a
turn it off.
fucking
So
bitch.
creepy.
Eli.
¿Por qué tú
Man,
es
zombie
bitch?
extras are the best.
I hope she dies now. Is Peter having a seizure?
And freaking out, man.
Cálmate, Holmes.
We gotta go.
Not yet. We wait the full minute.
Jason.
Not yet. We wait the full minute till 15:02.
302.
Dude, babe.
We did. Now.
Jason. Jason, please calm down.
He's my oldest friend, Annie. I fucked up.
Why is this his fault? I don't
You
understand.
don't understand. God damn it, Eli!
Oh, I like that shot. Oh, there he is. Hello, Scoop.
Pantelis. Oh, there it is.
Your stupid
What are you
bitch
doing
wife
here?
almost got me killed.
This scene between the two of them, honestly, the acting was
What's the
like,
point of having a plan?
fucking make them.
Hi, Annie.
Oh, thank God. Can we please get off this road now?
This road.
Hey, big guy.
You bit? Do you think I'd be here if I was?
You sure?
5 by 5, man.
The fuck does that mean?
From now on, we stick to the plan.
Something that Joss Whedon used to put.
What happened to
Me
you?
and Peter are both big fans.
Why were
The
you
line of
late?
this.
I got pinned down by a horde.
Yeah, fuck the whore.
Let's go. Come
Yeah,
on.
fucking horse pinned him down.
Oh, they're gonna destroy the backseat of that car.
Jason. Jason. Horde.
Oh, I saw
gotta
you said
go.
whore. I'm sorry. My bad. Question mark on map.
Okay.
That guy sold soup to me.
There's plenty more where that guy came from. Jason.
All those years of planning.
Yeah. And it worked. You're here. You guys made it out. I'm here. What's the hesitation? We don't got time for this, Jay. We got time to go. So let's go.
God damn it, Ange.
We gotta go.
Kill Ange.
For what?
Oh, he got bit?
I'm sorry.
When did he get bit?
Right before we see him for the first time when he's coming back, there's like a hint to it, and then you see him sweating also.
How'd you get bit?
Like,
It doesn't matter.
It matters. That's a dumb story. I thought you said he woke up, Phil, and took his girlfriend. Where the fuck did he get bit?
they still had to get out
I
of the
don't know
city,
that it
right?
spreads like that.
Yeah, we do.
No.
You know, for a film that's about last minute, no time to waste, these guys waste a lot of fucking time.
Yeah, they're slow zombies though, so it's okay.
To the plan.
Thank God you didn't go with fast zombies, Phil. You would have killed them all. Do you like? I don't like fast zombies.
I hate fast zombies.
It's so fucking well made though. Like the makeup.
The production value is there. Like, I had a fucking phenomenal crew.
What camera did you use?
C100. Mark 1, I believe. And we used a bit of an old GoPro, and there's like a Canon Rebel in there.
Very nice.
Guys, we have to go. Guys, we have to go. Eli, put the fucking gun down.
Why don't you just leave him there?
She doesn't know what's happening, right?
Uh-oh. Poseidon is captivated. Look at him. He's fucking into it. He loves zombie movies.
Fucking Edge.
Ange got away scot-free, bro.
Did he though?
Oh, goddamn. Look at her. You know what? Given that I want to have a life of peace after this, I would have killed her too. I'm not dealing with your nagging. Hi, baby. Hello. Written and directed by our boy Phil. It also was produced by Phil and Peter James. Don't forget Brian.
Brian's fucking solid.
Produced by Yogesh.
Yeah, rest in peace.
R.I.P. bro.
And the fucking music. There's a post-credit scene, I think. I don't remember how deep it is, though. So, like, the horde that you guys are seeing here,
Yeah?
they're all volunteers that, like, reached out on the internet. It was amazing. So many of them.
Oh, there is, yeah. This is the post-credit scene. There's Ange.
Still just walking down his road. He's going for the body, obviously, that they left off the road.
Did you guys just tell Ange to do this right after a hard night of drinking?
Ange is actually reprising his role as the banker for one of my previous films.
Yeah. So it's all the same universe?
Let's say it's the Balabanaverse. Yeah, I like
the Balbaverse. Hi. Very good job, Phil.
Thanks, man.
Good job, and very good. Very
I've seen
well.
this before, though, right?
And this was what?
2014, huh? Wow.
Oh shit.
Long time ago.
Yeah, this was a long time ago, Phil. And the advancements that you've made in your career, just experience-wise, plus everything that's happened technologically-wise, right? Like we got so much at our disposal. Yeah. The next thing we do is gonna be fucking epic.
Hey, a dog.
Oh my God, she got so hairy.
Yeah, I know, because we can't get her groomed yet. The groomer doesn't want to do it.
She's so fluffy.
So her whiting. So Phil, that was a good thing to show us, man. People are saying awesome movie. So that was so that's the kind of effort that Phil would put into his films. That's why even in the pilot that it took us, the Pantelis pilot took us, while to edit or whatever, but 2 days we had to rush it. So that's why people were like, "Oh, we like the pilot. This and that." We're not happy with it because having the luxury of time and doing what we want to do, we could have done a phenomenal, especially with what we have now at our disposal. Dude, we could have made it look like an actual.
Yeah, the pilot itself it has some really strong scenes, and then there's scenes where like we were rushed and shit went sideways, and I had to edit like a 5-day scene, 5 days of editing in like 4 hours.
And we even
so
had
like
to,
the colors, like I'm so embarrassed sometimes when I watch it. It looks so cringy for me.
Yeah, me too. I don't like it because I know what went into it and where it should have gone. Though people appreciate it for what it is, which is fine. That's actually good for us because we actually put some time and money and effort into it. We could really come up with a good series. But fuck, it all goes back to all these.
Time, man. It's always fucking time.
It's time and all the work, dude. This took years. I remember the first films we would make and the first films you made, how shit they were in comparison to all the stuff later. Look at this. This was 5 years ago, still ahead of what everyone else was doing 5 years ago. Like
This took, I think it was 5 days to shoot. It took like 2 months of pre-production with like 6 people working on it. 4 or 5 days to shoot, and then it was like a month and a half of post-production. Then we took a small break just to like step away from it, and then another like 2-3 weeks of like finishing it up, color correction, sound. Like this is the most complete thing I've ever done. That's why, like, I'll say it again, on my Instagram, on my IGTV, I have the behind the scenes. Like, you would never believe that a short film had that many people involved, and every fucking person on that set, nobody was getting paid, by the way, everyone was a volunteer. It's just like giving 110%, so happy to fucking be there. It was one of the best experiences as far as like in my career. Actually, on the second day, we were on top of this hill in the West Island of Montreal in this park where we shot, and all the zombie extras were in makeup, and I was finishing shooting another scene in the car, like the end sequence, because we don't shoot in order. And when I got to the top of the hill, Brian called to Peter to ask where I was, and Peter, because Peter's, you gotta love Peter, he's such a ham sometimes. He's like, everybody, director on set, and nobody had really met me yet. So when I came to the top, there was like 30 people up there, and I got like a fucking standing ovation. And I tried to play it cool, but I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. I've arrived.
I'm never going higher than this. This is my hill.
I am the director. It was fucking one of the greatest moments of my career for me, like to see all these people just show up. It was great. It was a great experience.
Well, hopefully in the next coming months, once this settles, you'll have another great moment when we start on a new project.
Pantelis, the zombie episode.
It would be so fun to make a zombie episode. All right, so I believe that is a good morning show for us.
I think that was a very good morning show.
I think we started with the news. We got the Tekashi stuff out of the way. We got 1501 showed to the public.
News correspondent forever. He'll never come back.
He's very angry. He doesn't want to be associated with Tekashi. Well, you know what? Now he is. So that happened. Poseidon, they're going to find you on Instagram and on Twitter, and your handle is the Poseidon69.
You got that right.
Poseidon 69.
Y'all ain't like Poseidon 69.
Y'all ain't like Poseidon, yo.
Got this ring.
Phil, where are they going to find you?
They can find me everywhere on the internet by writing Balabanos. It's at pbalabanos or balabanos.com.
Go to balabanos.com and it has all of his social links. Go over there. It's easy.
Yeah, everything's there.
Everything's there. For me, panteliscomedy.com. Head over to the Patreon if you want to be one of the patrons over there. There are no more Poseidons available. All 10 have been taken for now, so you got to wait if you want that. But we are giving away merch to all the bosses. We're giving away more merch than what we promised. So it says one winner per month.
Are we?
Well, are we? That's clearly not true because we said one per month, and in the last 2 weeks we've sent out, I think, 10 shirts, 10 or 11 shirts. So what do? We undercommit and over-deliver? That's what we're doing? That's what...
Under-promise and over-commit.
There we go. No, over-deliver, Poseidon. You commit to less and then you over...
Under-promise? Yeah, under-promise.
English. So, patreon.com/Pantelis for that, panteliscomedy.com. 2 drink minimum every Tuesday goes live on the YouTubes, and every Wednesday it's up everywhere. And that's it. That's all from us. Thank you all for fucking waking up this early to enjoy our nonsense.
Good morning, people.
Ciao, ciao.